Okay, so getting back into our coverage over X-Force, the latest series for X-Force, we're going to jump into X-Force issue number 2. Now, with issue number 2, we have to remember that for Forge, he's the new leader of X-Force, and he have put together a new team of characters to help him on his mission. So you have Forge, Sage, Tank, Captain Britain, Ascani, which is Rachel Summers, and you also have Surge as well. Now, when it comes to Forge, he had created a device called the Analog. Now, when it comes to the Analog, it has the ability to pick up when world-ending events are happening across the world. And so you have X-Force trying their best to deal with those different kinds of world-ending events. Now, the next one's going to take place in Wakanda. And so you have our heroes heading over to Wakanda to deal with that world-ending event. And so as we get into the opening page for issue number 2 of the series, we do pick up with Sage on the run. Now for Sage, she kind of tells us that our heroes had arrived in Wakanda. But apparently when they had arrived in Wakanda, things went south very quickly. Now, we're not only being told what exactly happened, but right now we're seeing that for Sage, she's on the run. She's trying her best to survive from whatever is trying to chase her down. And so to learn what was chasing down Sage, we have to jump back 1 hour ago. Now, when we do, we pick up with our heroes on the Blackbird heading over to Wakanda. Now, you have the team welcoming Surge to the team because she is the latest person to join X-Force. But at the same time, they have to make sure that she understands that this team is off the books, that this team is top secret. Nobody can know about them at all. But then after that, you then have Forge be confronted by Sage. Now for Sage, she hates the idea of how the team is going into Wakanda. Wakanda is so advanced, like years and years ahead of other countries. She feels like sooner or later Wakanda might attack them from going into their airspace. Now for Forge, he's kind of like, listen, they have to understand that we came here to help. But for Sage, it's kind of like, no, I think your plan going to go south very quickly. And matter of fact, she was right because as you have our heroes go into the airspace of Wakanda, they are shot out of the sky just like that. And now our heroes are free falling straight into Wakanda. Now, as they're falling, they're all going through some kind of strange cloud. Now, this cloud is going to be very important for the rest of today's video. Now, for Forge and Sage, they do arrive on the ground safely, but the question is right now, where is the rest of their team at? Now, you do have Bessie Braddock appear, Captain Britain. When she does appear, she's kind of like, hey, listen, the cloud we went through is some kind of changing spell. It's beginning to change me right now. Now, my otherworld magic is trying to fight against it, but the problem is that otherworld magic is currently losing. And so right now, I'm going through some kind of change. Now, the change is not happening to Forge and Sage for a very good reason here. But right now, Bessie Braddock, unfortunately, is changing into some kind of ancient warrior. And matter of fact, you have the entire team of X-Force minus Sage and also Forge turn into some kind of ancient warriors that are now being led by some lady who's part of the Wakanda army. Now, if you look at her and the rest of the Wakanda army, you can kind of see like they're also dressing like ancient warriors of some time period that's no longer around. But either way, you have Sage realize that the reason why their friends have changed is because of magic. Magic that's being done by some kind of god or some kind of magical artifact. And so you have Forge tell Sage, okay, listen, I need you to figure out, is it a god or some kind of magical artifact? While I go back to my workspace on the jet. Now, let's not forget, the jet just got blown up earlier, but for some strange reason, Forge believes that its workplace is still okay, and so he heads straight over to it, while you have Sage trying her best to figure out what in the world is going on right now in Wakanda. And so that kind of leads us back into the beginning of the book where we saw that you had Sage on the run. But unfortunately, she was captured by the end of this section and brought over to the leader of Wakanda. And you would think it would be the Black Panther, T'Challa. But it's not. It's actually a character known as Nketi. Now, when it comes to Nketi, and I really hope I pronounce his name correctly, what he's trying to do is conquer the entire world. And we kind of find out the reason why our heroes look like ancient warriors right now, because the man has this magical drum that has the ability to rewind time in this area and sooner or later across the entire world. And so that explains why Captain Britain and the rest of X-Force look like ancient warriors, including the army of Wakanda, because this man right now is using this magical drum to send time backwards. Because to him, when it came to the human race, they were more pure back in that time period. And so his goal is to send the entire world back in time and then lead Wakanda to conquer the entire world, to give Wakanda supposedly a better future. Now, for Sage, she realized what she can do here, and so she's able to escape. But unfortunately for this Black Panther, he does send the rest of X-Force after her in hoping they actually capture her. Now, let's not forget that Sage and Forge are not being affected by the magic at all. Now, there is an actual good reason why, but unfortunately, we're not going to learn that reason until the very end of this video. Now, you do have Sage on the run, and you have Sage get captured by Surge. Now, for Sage, she realized why she's not being affected by the magic. But before she's able to actually tell us, you have Sage hand Surge her goggles. For some strange reason, those goggles are actually blocking the magic in this area. And matter of fact, it turns Surge back to normal. But Sage, she's now changing. And so you have Sage tell Surge, you have to find Forge to tell him what exactly is going on here in Wakanda. And so once you have Surge being able to make it to Forge, this is where we see our heroes being able to find a way to save the day. So you have Surge hand Forge the goggles that Sage wore earlier. Now what Sage did was she downloaded all the information into the goggles so that Forge will know what to do to save the day. Now when it comes to magic, really, when it comes to anything, everything has an opposite to counterattack it. So for example, you have light, there's dark. You have matter, you have antimatter. When it comes to magic, you have science. And so for Forge, he realized what he has to do. He has to use science against the magic in this area to save the day. And so you have Forge find the Black Panther, find the magical artifact, and he basically uses the analog on the artifact to get rid of all magic in the area, just like that. And that same kind of magic was powering up this fake Black Panther as well. So once all the magic goes away, he's no longer powered up either. And so he is easily arrested. Now for our heroes, they now have to go ahead and leave Wakanda to go ahead and head over to their next mission. And their next mission is in Cambodia. And so, of course, this is where we're going to end today's comic book video. So please leave me a like down below and subscribe. Also, if you have any suggestions on books I should read, well, please let me know in the comments below, because you never know, your suggestion could be a future video down the road. But guys, see y'all next time. Later.